Well, the good news is in, and we've all won. I'm assuming that you're as excited as I am about the numbers. And so I wanted to have this conversation with you because I'm not sure that everybody's talking the way that I see this extremely exciting day. This is Randy Kirk. Please hit like and subscribe. Here, let's jump right into it here. Okay, so you can see these were my numbers. I don't know for sure, but there's been a bunch of numbers that have bandied around all week. I think I might have been the big winner. So, once in a while you're going to get it right. Throw enough darts, enough quarters, and someday you're going to be the guy. Okay, so I think this time nobody else was at 460. Nobody else was at between 460 and 470. There were people that were much higher, and most people were, of course, about 20,000 units short. So let's change my number, though. At 460, I was showing an EPS of $1.06 per share. I'm now going to change this to 466 to put the real number in here, 466. I'm going to keep my number at 46,000. That is probably low for the average selling cost. They sold a lot of Model S's and X's in the quarter, so that is going to raise the price a little bit. There's a lot of Model Ys were sold, of course. That's going to raise the price a little, but I'm going to stick with 46 and be a little conservative on that number. I'm going to stick with my margin of 21, but we're going to play with that in a minute. Okay, so let's for right now we'll stick with 21% margin. That will now give us $1.07 a share. Now, if we hit $1.07 a share in the second quarter here in a couple of weeks, maybe I'm going to be off a little bit because I didn't take out for taxes here, but I didn't necessarily probably put in enough for some of the services and whatnot. Anyway, all in all, I'd be happy with $1. Wouldn't you be happy with $1? I think everybody'd be thrilled with $1. All right. And of course, if you continue now, here's the big thing. Here's the big takeaway. The big takeaway from this is that this takes 1.8 million off the table. This takes 1.9 million off the table. We've basically done 900. I mean, it's so close to 900. It's almost 489,000 for the first half. We're going to do at least 1.1 for the second half to get us to 2. I think it'll be more. My numbers are now 575, a big jump in the third quarter to 575, and another big jump in the fourth quarter to 660. I think that as they ramp up the Model Ys in Austin and Berlin, that is going to be all it takes to get us to those numbers. Now, I could be off a little bit. We could play around with those numbers if you like also. Okay, so what I want to do here now is I want to take a look at it and see what happens if in fact, our margins are lower. So just for fun, let's take the margin down to 19 and see what that does. Okay, that takes us down to 95 cents. I think the entire Tesla world would be perfectly happy with 95 cents a share. I think the street would be happy with 95 cents a share. I think we would get lots of pluses from that. Now let's take it down to the lowest I've heard is 15. Trying it there, that would be 70 cents. Now I think that would be a big miss. I think that would be sad, but it wouldn't be devastating at even 15% margins. But let's take it back up to 21 because I want to do it based on what I believe is going to happen. Again, my reason for 21% margins is because all of the Model Ys that we're selling now, it's taking over as a percentage. We know that some commodity prices have come down. We know that battery prices have come down. We know that the cost to manufacture the car is coming down as they ramp up and make more and more of the Model Ys in Austin and Berlin. So that is my reason for thinking it'll be 21%. Now then, let's go to the end of the year. We're right now, if I'm right, in terms of the overall numbers here, at 2.124, then our EPS would come in at $5.71. And at $5.71 times, let's say a 50% margin, we would be getting very, very close to the $300 number that I believe the stock should be trading at right now and maybe trading at later this week after these blowout numbers yesterday. Now, just to, again, play around with these numbers just a little bit, let's take this down to 525. Oops, do 525. And let's take this down to 600. so that we're just barely over 2 million. I think that this is like the minimum that we're going to sell. I think it'll actually be higher. But you can see that even then, our EPS is still at $5.37. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's now just let's take this down to 0.2. Let's take this down to, oh, whoops, I just did that wrong. Let me just undo that. Let me take this down to 0.2 or 20% margins. Let's take this down to 0.21 instead. And let's only get to 0.22 here in the fourth quarter. Even then, we're over $5 a share. So you can see that as with these numbers, getting to 2 million, even if the margins continue to be low, we're still looking at over $5 a share. You multiply that times 50, you get $250 value, at the very, very minimum. Some people think it should be at least $60 a share. I mean, 60 PE, maybe it should be 65 or 70. So you get over 300. And then we're not talking about this year anymore in terms of the valuation, the forward looking valuation on a stock like Tesla. You'd be looking at next year. Well, if we're making 515 this year and you multiply, if you have this 50% increase in sales again next year, now you're looking at $8 minimum, because remember, as your total sales go up, your profit is not going to just go up 50%. If the sales go up 50%, it'll go up more than 50% because of the scale affects that profitability. You don't have as much overhead being applied to the profitability. All right, so this is the kind of thing I'm talking about that maybe others are talking about. I haven't had a chance. I just got back from church. I haven't had a chance to see what others are saying. But if you take the information that we just got at 466, by the way, hat tip to Brian White also. Did you see his video this morning? I'll link it right here or right here. And take a look at Brian's video this morning. He estimated the production at 589. It came in, I think, at 579. Again, he's the only one who was actually close. There were people that were higher than him, and there were people that were a lot lower than him. But 579, I think, Brian, would have been the very closest of everybody in terms of the production number. So Brian gets a win. I get a win. Great way to start the week. So this is not going to be my only show today. I will do my normal show tonight, where I talk about what the financial reporting that's coming out this week, the different companies that might be reporting this week, because we did just finish the fourth quarter. I don't think any significant people report this week, but anyway, I'll be going over all that tonight. More information on how I see Tesla playing out tomorrow, and then after the 4th of July, the rest of the week. That'll all be on my show, my regular show called Monday Morning. We call the show Monday Morning because it's what do I think is going to happen on Monday morning. So looking forward to seeing you later. Please hit like. If you want to be reminded of that show, hit notify and subscribe. You have to do that before you can hit notify. And then, of course, buy the book. And also Patreon is, I did have another Patreon person join yesterday. Thank you so much for that. And love to have a few more folks jump in on Patreon. That's all I got for now. And until we see you this evening.